James Harden made his Los Angeles Clippers debut last night, guys, and needless to say, it didn't go how he would have wanted it to. The New York Knicks beat the Clippers at home, 111-97. There's a couple things to unpack in this game, but all in all, I don't think it nearly went as bad as it could have. First things first, I want to say shout out Mason Plumlee. I hope you're all right, man. It looked like a pretty severe injury. Had to get carried off the court last night. Let's start with the Clippers, though. First things first with James Harden. It's always very interesting watching him on a new roster, as we've seen him on many rosters in recent memory. The thing is, he always does this thing, and he did it again tonight, where in the first quarter, he doesn't even look to shoot the ball. He doesn't try to shoot the ball. He doesn't even attempt a shot. That's right. He shot 0 field goals or three-pointers or free throws in the first quarter because he really is just feeling everything out, guys. James had a pretty solid game. Put up 17 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, knocked down 50% of his three. Problem is, though, when he was on the floor, he had a minus 18 box plus minus. Same thing with Ivica Zubac. Last night was just an interesting game because I felt like for the Los Angeles Clippers, they had this thing. I mean, they outscored them in the first and the second quarter and almost the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, they just absolutely fell apart. And I don't know if this was fatigue. I don't know if this was coaching. But just from what I was seeing, it was more of missing opportunities and missing shots, guys. There was a lot of times down the stretch where Paul George or Bones Highland were missing big shots, guys. PJ Tucker missed a couple big threes down the stretch. Just a pretty inefficient night. I mean, Paul George goes 2 for 11 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. Bones goes 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 4 from the 3. Like I said, PJ Tucker went 0 for 2 from 3. It's okay for sure. I mean, it's your first game together. You got to get the chinks in the armor. However, like I said, the bright spot of this felt like the Clippers were playing with a lot more pace, if that makes sense. Russell Westbrook and James Harden look familiar together. In transition, the Clippers just look to be great, but the Knicks look to be better. The Knicks have had a really rough season, and yesterday's starts may be the turnaround of that. We feel like we've seen that a lot where the Knicks absolutely suck, and then they're good, and then they suck, and then they're good. Last night, I got to give a lot of credit to RJ Barrett. He absolutely killed it. He was the best player on the floor for the Knicks last night, better than Julius, way better than Brunson. Brunson had a terrible game. Brunson 2 for 12 from the field, 1 for 3 from the 3, 7 points, 6 assists. The New York Knicks bench, though, last night had really great production. Hartenstein had 6, Quickly had 7, DiVincenzo had 12, Josh Hart had 10. Very good game from the New York Knicks, guys. They did a really good job, like I said, moving in transition and just dominating the glass. And in a game like this, you really should. Like I said, when Mason Plumlee goes down with that injury, I think it was in the second quarter, when he goes down with that injury, guys, and it's just Ivica Zubac, and the Clippers are relatively a small team, as you have Kawhi and Paul kind of splitting minutes at the 4, and then when they're not playing the 4, you have PJ Tucker, and they have no real center on the roster other than, Ivica Zubac and Mason Plumlee. This is a game that it should have been dominated by the boards. 110%. There's no reason for Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle not to dominate said glass. Other than that, guys, another really solid game for Norman Powell off the bench. I'm really shocked that they were able to acquire James Harden without getting rid of Norman Powell. Norman Powell is one of the most electric bench players in the NBA that's actually fitting the role of 6-man. I really don't like when someone who's clearly a clear-cut starter, and yes, Norman Powell could start on, 29 other NBA teams, but I'm saying I really like when somebody comes off the bench who's actually a bench player. I don't like when we have, Tyler Hero who plays, 35 minutes a night coming off the bench and you're calling him the 6-man. I don't know, that just doesn't sit right with me. To me, a 6-man plays, 20, 25 minutes a game, and he's giving you good production, maybe 15, 16 points a game, couple assists, couple of rebounds. That's a real 6-man. All in all, though, if we're just going to finish this thing talking about just James Harden, I have to say it was a good performance from him, but like I said, his performance didn't translate to winning, and that kind of seems like it's been the ongoing theme for his career. I'm sure you guys remember that interview with Kobe and Tracy McGrady where Kobe said, I love what he's doing. I love that, he's keeping his team afloat, but that's not going to win you games. And if anyone knows that, it should be Kobe Bryant, considering Kobe obviously had the nights with all the big scoring, and Kobe's had the nights with, just leading the team and being the number one guy and not, facilitating the ball. Now, that's not to say James doesn't facilitate the ball. I mean, last year he led the NBA in assists. However, there's a difference between facilitating in the nature of winning and facilitating in the nature of, yielding stats. A good example of this is you look at Nikola Jokic and think to yourself, Jesus Christ, this guy, he makes everybody open. He garners so much attention that he's getting everybody open and he's yielding all these assists, but they're in the nature of creating offense for his teammates. But then you look at someone like James Harden or Russell Westbrook. These days, they're not really given that same respect on the perimeter. They're not, I mean, we see people leave Russell Westbrook wide open, and nobody's sending double teams and switching everything on James Harden anymore. Obviously, James Harden's lethal enough at this stage in his career to still give you these 30-point games or 40-point games, but it's not like back on the 2018 Rockets where we're seeing, 40, 30-point games in a row. I mean, James Harden, guys, if you forget about his prime in Houston, man, he was just the most elite scorer, got whatever he wanted whenever he wanted it, and man, I mean, that Houston Rockets team didn't win 67 games for nothing. But again, shout out to the Knicks for this one. Big shout out to the Knicks bench. Again, like I said, especially Josh Hart played a really, really great game on both sides of the ball. I think he had a lot of really great stops in transition, guys. 7 assists to go with those 10 points. I mean, if you look at the Knicks bench, it's plus 10, plus 13, plus 13, plus 22 on the box plus minus. Then you look at the Clippers bench, it's minus 9, minus 2, plus 10, minus 5, plus 2, minus 6, plus 2. It's just, and then the starting 5, minus 7, minus 12, minus 18, minus 7, minus 18. I mean, it's just, that's how these games work, Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get outclassed. The Knicks, they shot better, they played better defense. It's okay, it's a regular season basketball game. But what do you guys think? How do you think this James Harden era is going to pan out? You excited, not excited? Let me know in the comments below. I will be dropping that hot takes video tomorrow, so submit your hot takes while you can. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.